I'm going to speak specifically to you asking about a specific and attaining a certain level. And you say that these people that you studied and looked at and interviewed have attained a certain level, and it seems like they have a problem at that point when you get to and you have attained all this spiritual success or enlightenment and knowledge and wisdom, and they have trouble attracting what having that. I think that part of that is that when we're on that path, we're seeking and we're open, and our hearts are open and our spirit is open, and we know that we don't know, and we're seeking, and so we're really open. And then when we think we've arrived and we think we've got absolute beliefs that lock us in now, and now we're stuck in this belief that I know what I know, and it's a little less humility because I know this and I've attained this certain level and I know. And I think it's our guru that says the one thing that freezes the human intellect is having an absolute belief system, because now we're no longer seeking and hoping, we're believing, and that's dangerous because you get into a pattern of belief and nobody can change that. So I think even in a level of relationship, some people get to that certain level, and it's a lot of it may be intellectual, as opposed to sometimes we have a lot of book knowledge and we have a lot of head knowledge, and we can spew out these concepts and talk about, so we have this appearance of high level spirituality, but we're closed off and stuck in an absolute belief, and we're not seeking anymore. So it becomes almost like we're in our ego now again, as opposed to where we were when we were humble seekers, just desiring to know more and get more and being open to people and frequency and love. And now we're here and we think we've arrived. And so I think that part of that then begins to close you off to being open and receptive to love and understanding that we don't know everything. Even if we're stuck in a set belief system that we don't know, and when we're seekers and open, we accept other people's imperfections and perspectives and tend to be more loving, as opposed to if we get locked into this set of I have to have and this has to be this way, and thinking more about what are you bringing to the table instead of what do I have to offer you, how can I be of service to you, how can I offer love to you, and then that energy attracting someone else with the same spirit, as opposed to what are you bringing me to the table. And a lot of us walk around with that when we so-called attain, and none of us have attained full enlightenment, or we wouldn't be sitting in the
Right.
We still have work to do on this earth plane. And so we get to these levels and think, I have arrived and nobody can match me. Who's my mate? Because ain't nobody on my level. Well, that's the problem. So I think that the more that we elevate, the more we need to seek and continue to seek, and always have that part of seeking and not get stuck in these absolutes, and just being more open to love, and understanding that too, that we don't own anybody or anything, that we don't, that our mates that we do when we find that divine counterpart, that they don't belong to us. Like, my man, it's mine. He still is my that I'm calling him now, for lack of a better term. Divine counterpart is his own man and his own person that I don't own or control him. He can do whatever he wants to do. I get to decide if I want to deal with him. But he knows he can do whatever he wants to do. You understand what I'm saying? And the lesson in that is that we all are going to learn that lesson. And one of my teachers said that you're going to learn that now, or the maggots are going to give it to you. You don't own nobody. And I always add on Twitter and say the maggots or the fire, depending on how you decide to go about it. It's learned, or you going to the ground, but you're going to get... Where's the ground? Where's the lesson?
I agree with you so fully. It's almost like I feel like my heart is like beating into. I don't know how this works, but I just feel you so fully. And something you said, absolutely. Something you said earlier, and I so believe this, is it takes discipline to not not cross the line between sensuality and sexuality. And it's a very big deal to be comfortable in sensuality and enjoy it and experience it and be able to give it to many beings and to be okay with the scariness of it, right? The vulnerability of it, without crossing into a place that takes away from you, right? Because when we give love, it doesn't take anything away from us. But when we give that kind of a union, sometimes we feel like we've lost something. So being okay in that sensual space with people in general, with love, loving people in general. A lot of times when we talk about soulmates, really, we're just regular, everyday people who want to be loved and who want to love people. And we want to hug people and we want to ask people what their dog's name is. We want to buy the person behind us a tea or a coffee and we hold that in. And so we're tense and we're tight because we're not giving this love that we so deeply want to give. And so we live in this fear of loving. And so when we talk about isolation now, a lot of times we don't have to be isolated. A lot of times we decide on isolation because we're so afraid of sensuality. Us women, a lot of times, sensuality is frowned upon. I want to hold my best friend's hand when I walk down the street, but I don't know what people are going to think. My little sister, I want to hold her in bed so that she can cry in my arm and fall asleep, but I don't know if that's exactly right. Well, guess what? I just want to hold my sister. I just want to love my sister. I just want to pour out on the phone. And we don't pick up our phones the way we used to. We don't text back the way we used to. We don't even comment the way that we want to because we're afraid of sensuality. And we call it thirsty and thirst trapping when really it's love. That's all it is. So I think a beginning step to finding your soul mate is realizing how many mates there are that just want to walk this life with you, just want to rock out with you, and who just want to love on you, and who want to be loved, who want to be helped, who want to be touched, who want you to pay for their manicure. So all I'm saying there is it's okay to love all the time. And your soulmate is going to be attracted to that love that you give. He or she is going to reciprocate that love because they see you doing it already. You don't have to wait till you meet your soulmate to love.
I'm going to go with the brothers initial question. A lot of the reasons why that, the elevator ones tend to be, alone, things like that, is because, and we have to stop doing this, we feed into too many stereotypes. We do. And when I say we feed into too many stereotypes are just insecurities from other people that just put that stamp on it. And you can create your own stereotype for yourself. To the point that it's like this, you know what? Nobody is worthy, or I don't see this person worthy of my aspect. And it's like this, when you feed into that, it becomes your reality. I'm very big on metaphysics. Very big on metaphysics. And I learned that your thoughts become matter. It becomes matter. So when you actually feed into that particular label or that stereotype, guess what? You are actually repelling these potential soulmates that you're yearning for, that you're actually looking forward to. So my whole thing is this. You work on the positive aspect of you. Don't feed into the stereotypes of being like this. Nobody can get me, because I sit down with plenty of brothers who are successful as hell. I'm not even talking about on a financial aspect. When I hear these brothers actually be transparent and they are actually comfortable with their vulnerability, I'm like this, well, I know some sisters that will make, oh my God, they'll make a home for you, brother. But the thing is, the reasons why we have this is because the brothers is like this. They're not out there. And it's like this. Who is saying that? But you. You're saying it. So you're actually feeding into the whole manifestation of actually rejecting your potential soulmate. And so I'm telling the black women who are out there who are actually ready to actually connect with them. Brother, out there are black men who are working on themselves, who are actually taking the initiative to actually be better than they was, and they are looking for you. They are looking for you. And for my brothers who are thinking that sisters aren't out there, you see all these beautiful black women who are here, who are single, or who are out there that I talk to on a regular. They are out there. Stop feeding into the stereotypes that are out there.